Oh, sunny days. That's what we all live for, right? I mean, I can tolerate all the other days, but I love sunny days. All right, questions and answers. There's nothing more in my life that I love than a good conversation, exchange of ideas where people can add value to each other's lives. Yes, I care about my family, my friends, of course. But great quality conversations, exciting conversations, nothing better. So let's talk about one of the most exciting conversations that I get to have with lots and lots and lots of people. And that is, how do I retire when I want to retire and live the life of retirement that I'm hopefully planning on. Those are the sunny days, right? Those are the sunny days people are looking forward to. All right, so the traditional way people retire, mid-60s. By the time you retire, you have the ability to access Social Security and Medicare. That takes some of the pressure off of your portfolio to fund your lifestyle. But if you retire earlier in life, in your mid-50s, you're now talking about having to draw all of that money out of your portfolio, and then you have the variable of healthcare expenses. So let's just play with simple math here. If you retire in your mid-60s, you're probably looking at maybe planning for a 30-year retirement. If you spend $100,000 a year and there's no inflation, I know that's not real, but let's just say there's no inflation. In a beautiful world, there's no inflation. All right, 30 years, $100,000, is going to cost you $3 million to live your lifestyle out during retirement. If you retire 10 years earlier in your mid-50s, now all of a sudden you're talking about a 40-year retirement, and so 40 years on $100,000, now you're looking at $4 million. So it's another $1 million that you're going to need to have in order to continue living that same lifestyle that you hope to enjoy. Obviously, there's also inflation, so that variable is going to factor into the considerations. Okay, so that's the normal retirement. 65, you have access to Social Security, Medicare, and the like. You retire earlier than that, you got to think, my lifestyle is going to be funded by my portfolio, so I'm going to have to take bigger distributions in those early years, okay? And you're going to have to get creative about the distributions, because typical retirement assets like traditional IRAs, 401ks, you can't access the money until 59 and a half, until you're age 59 and a half, without paying penalties. Now, there are creative ways to get around the penalties. We can talk you through those to help you get the assets that you're going to need, get the income you're going to need to fund your lifestyle before 59 and a half. But that's one of the considerations. So that's like your first chapter of retirement in your early 50s is, I know my portfolio is going to have to bear the brunt of all of this stuff, so I need to make sure I have enough assets in that portfolio to be able to generate that income without me feeling like, oh gosh, if something like 2022 happens again, I'm going to be in trouble. So that's a big consideration. Then you get over to 59 and a half, and obviously it makes it easier. You don't have to be so creative. You can grab the assets you need out of your portfolio in the way you need to grab them in order to fund your lifestyle. At 62, you start becoming eligible for Social Security. So if you decide to take it at 62, that's going to take some of that burden off the portfolio, and it's going to give you some guaranteed income stream that's also inflation adjusted. So that's going to be a benefit to you going forward. At 65, that's when you can get Medicare, so hopefully that drives some of your health care, at least health insurance costs down. And so that takes even more pressure off of the portfolio. So early on, you're going to see a bigger nosedive in the portfolio in terms of how much the distributions are going to be, and then hopefully it can start to level off there when you hit your mid-60s. That's the goal. Nobody's life goes exactly to plan, but that's what you have to mentally get your mind around, is that early on you're going to have to take some big distributions to fund the lifestyle you want, because obviously you're going to be in your mid-50s, and if you're retiring in your mid-50s, you presumably have some good energy and you want a lot. You have a lot of things you want to do, so we want to be able to make sure that we're able to help you do those things. But many of those things may cost money, so you have to be aware of that. Then psychologically, by the time you hit your 60s, it starts to slide off. So if you needed, if you're a $100,000 lifestyle early on, you might need to take that whole $100,000 out of your portfolio. If by the time you take on Social Security, that's giving you another 30 grand, then now all of a sudden your portfolio only needs to draw $70,000 out of it. One last consideration, like I talked about with health insurance, you retire in your mid-50s, you're going to probably need to get, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. So you can go on healthcare.gov and figure out, you put in your information, how old you are, how old your spouse is, how much money you make every year. There are premium tax credits that are still available through 2025, so it's amazing. Even people with 6 figures of income can qualify sometimes for these premium tax credits. So what you want to do is figure out, how much am I paying right now on health insurance after my company's subsidies or the company, If you have your own company, how much you're paying for your health insurance. So if that's $400 a month, and you go on healthcare.gov and you find, okay, it's going to really cost me now $1,200 a month once I'm retired, you have about an $800 gap there per month that's going to add to your expenses. So a lot of different variables, but you know what? They can all be overcome. You just need to lay it all out on paper. You need to think through all the strategy. That's what we are here for. We help people strategize retirement on their terms, when they want to have it, what they want to do. These are exciting conversations, and nothing gets me more excited than having them with you.